Hello everyone, Wiz here, and welcome to another video. And in this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to motor lock, or basically how to compress lock. And it's very simple, and it's a lot easier than you might think it is. So here's my very simple tutorial for it. First, you want to go to gear, and then just get a normal motor. Place it down right here. Okay, now all you need to do for a motor lock basically is just turn powered off and lock on. And just like that, and basically you have a motor lock. But let me show you what I mean by that. So just place like a beam right here, right on top of it. Then move it up one and, place a anchor block under it. And let's test it. Alright, here we go. So you see, with the motor lock, it moves the block placed on top of the motor to around a half slab block type. And I'll show you just to be exact how tall that is, which it would be 0.5 degrees tall, or whatever, 0.5 tall. Just to put to scale. See, it's the exact size of a half block, just like that. And now, I don't usually use motor locks in my builds. What I like to use is compress locks, which is basically where you switch the motor lock out for a compress block, which all you have to do is just, you basically don't have to do anything with this. Then you can set it right there, and it'll go to the same height as a half block. But the reason why I like using a compress block so much is because there's a variation of heights you can use. So see, it's at negative 0.5 right now. I could switch that to negative 0.45, which would be right above the half block's level, just like this. And you can do a lot of stuff with this technique, which I use in a lot of my builds. And that's why I use the compress block so much. But with the compress block and the motor block combined, you can actually compress things into one block. In which you probably won't understand what I mean by that, but if you get a motor block and place it right on top of the compress block, or vice versa, then switch it to motor lock, and then place another block on top of here. If I'm correct, it should go to where this block is right here. It should go to the level that this block is. No. It goes to a level right above the block. But you can do a lot of stuff with this. Whereas you see, if you do it like something like this, maybe, say for example. Or wait. A better example would be here. So you see, I have the wedge coming out of there, and then if I just launch it, boom, look, the wedge is in just like that. Which of course you could also just use a full half wedge for that. But what my point is that you can use a different variation of blocks in there that'll give it different like lengths and heights, basically all of that. And I'll give you some examples of some of my builds that I use this in, which would be my custom A10. So you see right here, this is a motor, which I have motor lock on, and then I have it so it's connecting up here. But also right here in the block above this motor, right there actually is a compress block. So that means that this bottom part right here, this whole bottom part right here, would be compressed up into there. Basically that's how it is for the rest of this, which I'll just go ahead and show you. So see how it's like this right now? If I click T, boom, it compresses into place just like that. So that's why motor lock is very useful to get right angles. Well, no, not angles. I'll talk about angle locks in another video. But you see my point with this is that you can get a lot of different places and everything like that. Like in my current plane that I'm working on, I have some usage of compress blocks to bring these in, and also I have some use of more compress blocks right here and right here. Oh, I have a good motor lock right here where the compression blocks is on top of the motor. So you get my point with that motor locks and compress blocks can be very useful, and I'm just going to go over this again on how to actually do a motor lock. Is you just turn powered off just like that and then lock on, and basically that's going to be your motor lock just like that. See, it compresses down into place, so it's the size of a half block. And then switch it out with a compress block. Boom, it goes down into half block size. And then you just stack them on top of each other, just like so. And that is basically the basics to motor locking. So thank you all for watching this video on this very simple guide to motor locking, and I hope you enjoyed. And if you did, make sure you like and subscribe. Whiz out.